Greetings, send you all some warm, positive vibrations. This is Body Culinary, and I hope your day is off to a great start. I hope that you're well rested. Happy holidays to those folks that celebrate the holidays, whichever holiday separate that you celebrate. This morning, I thought I would check in as I just finished playing in my hair, and I love getting up early, and so the early day really lends itself to self reflection. So this morning I was thinking as I was having my tea about going broke for beauty. So I'm wondering if any of you, for so-called beauty, the ever moving goalpost of beauty, and I'm wondering if any of you out there have experienced going broke for beauty or perhaps spending the last money in your pocket at the beauty supply store. I've been there. Um, or you last several $100s on a hairstyle, which is not necessarily wrong, right? I don't like to make any of those things wrong on our journey. Yet I just wonder how much we benefited from it, if at all. So that's the first part of today's reflection and self reflection. Have you ever gone broke for beauty? And then I thought further, have we broken ourselves in pursuit of beauty? And I don't think it's something to be dismissive of. I think it's really, I don't think there's a right or wrong, though I think it is really an opportunity for self reflection. So that's what we're going to be chatting about today. So if you're interested in this conversation, feel free to chime in. I don't have the only perspective, this is just one woman's perspective. So you're always welcome to comment respectfully. I love healthy boundaries. If you're new to this channel, I'm Body Culinary, also known as Cluster Peaceful Eating, personal trainer, professional chef, natural born woman. Shout out to you, whatever your expression is. I really enjoy I like it. I enjoy being a woman, and I'm an acceptance of all the things that come with that in this particular divinely assigned human suit. I understand it is going to get old, even with the best care, with exercise and whole fresh living and unprocessed foods. The process of life, none of us is exempt from it. So I'm very intentional about protecting my psyche so that I feel comfortable in my own hair and skin. I really feel that we deserve to feel comfortable in our own divinely assigned hair and skin. Not to make anyone's journey wrong, because I've had a Jerry curl and gold tooth, right? That's part of the journey. Though we are inflicting quite often a lot of permanent damage onto ourselves in our journey of self exploration and experimentation. And some of it might not be able to take back. So perhaps this could be a valuable conversation for some of the younger flowers that are coming behind, or before you decide to do something permanent to alter yourself that could have some long term effects that you might not be banking on, or maybe perhaps you haven't considered how they could affect you. I love having a conversation, especially as some of the younger women in my life say, "Where were you when I was in my 20s?" So I know I've appreciated over the many years when I've had the ear of someone that would share their experiences and their insight. A lot of their gems of insight still serve me to this day. So, professional chef, personal trainer. On this channel, I share some of my journey of radical self acceptance. What that looks like for me is celebrating and being really creative with what I have been assigned. This is what I have, and I want to enjoy it without altering myself, because I like and I appreciate what I actually look like. It feels kind of weird to me to alter myself till I no longer look like myself. I have a sneaky suspicion that that can actually perhaps drive feelings of inadequacy and more of that comparing that we do on Instagram and social media. I feel like it can drive that thorn in even deeper, right? And I think there's some ways that we can measure that. I also share in this journey 3 leverage lifestyle practices. Leverage because they give you back so much more for the investment of your time spent on the internet, your attention, right? Hopefully, the ways that we're spending our time and interacting, you're getting something back valuable for your investment of your time. We may not think of it as having like a dollar amount. I would even say that your precious time and your attention and even you as a resource, it's priceless, right? Over the years of life experience, I just don't think there is enough money to compensate me for my time. Definitely not for my vitality, which I can't give back. So I'm really very clear on making good investments with my time, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Feel free to support the channel and also to like, comment respectfully with healthy boundaries, and subscribe. Perhaps share the channel with a young woman or a young person. There are actually some young men, I think, that benefit from asking questions because I am a mother. We give birth to sons and daughters. Um, I think perhaps young men can also benefit from learning how to communicate with healthy boundaries, right? For example, the internet can lend the illusion that you have, it gives you so called access to people that you normally wouldn't have access to, especially when it comes to women, to be in their thinking you're in their personal space or asking very personal questions that they haven't volunteered. So I think there's definitely an absence of healthy boundaries. And I know that's something that I value. It's very, very important. All right, so let's get into this conversation. Have you ever gone broke for beauty? And what have you gone broke for? Feel free to share in the comments. And today, right, I think this can apply to men folks also, right? I see, and I've seen from the time of growing up in even junior high school, how much money we would spend on. I remember when Lee jeans was a style and acid wash jeans, and there's nothing wrong with dressing and style and fashion because I enjoy them. But just the feeling, I think there's an anxiety, a desperation around having things to fit in. And I'm very humbled by the fact that as a species, we mimic and we copy and we desperately want to fit into the group. Now, most people will bristle at that and say, no, we don't. I think for myself, I'm not copying, folks. So if you think of the amount of money we spend for concert tickets to listen to music that we've already heard, for the theatrics, again, not making it bad or wrong, but if we look at the amount of investment, right, emotional investment, financial investment, to follow celebrities that we don't know, it appears like we've become a bit kind of unhinged. And if we look at the amount of the population now, younger and older, that is on medication for our mood and our feelings and depression, I don't think, it doesn't appear that we are really vested or encouraged to go to the root cause where a lot of band-aids are marketed to us. Though I'm an observer of patterns, and I observe that a lot of the solutions cause 10 more problems, and often permanent problems that you didn't have. So I'm like, why would I want a temporary band-aid solution? I'd rather have a solution that is sustainable, where I could get to zero, not operating at a negative with the problem, but solving the problem and then going past the negative, ground zero, to start to make progress in whatever that area of my life, whether that's health, fitness, if that was vices, spending, how I feel about myself. I don't want to just be operating all the time at a negative. I want to go past that where it's no longer an issue, right? I was reflecting today, as I reflect quite often. I know it's a little length on my hair, but I just don't really think about my hair like that. I do like to be creative, but it is such a wonderful feeling to not feel anxious about my hair, or even about my skin, right? As someone that's had a truckload of acne, as someone that has hair that, I wouldn't say that it doesn't behave, it behaves as it behaves. So this is not a really slickable hair, so I'm not going to fight to slick it down. I like to say I retrain my eyes. I'm not going to fight it to do what it does want to do. I'm kind of bending and going with the hair to see what it does, how it behaves at different lengths, meaning that I don't comb it and I don't oil it and do all these different things. Well, what can my hair do that is complementary to me? So rather than going with the masses, there's been all these, sometimes I jokingly say accidental hairstyles, but actually they're not accidental, because when I am no longer trying to make myself look like something that I am not, then I discover what is such a lovely, perfect, creative fit for me that goes with me. And the epiphany is I don't have to go broke. I don't have to put on pounds and pounds of makeup, which for me is uncomfortable and not practical for someone that has a moving lifestyle that can be out in the rain at a moment's notice, that can be out in the garden, but I can still be fashionable and enjoy my own hair and skin. My hair and skin can breathe. So I prioritize how I feel. And I know now, after enough years of certain simple lifestyle practices, that we are all at our most attractive when we are healthy. So, I can either put shea butter on my eyebrows and castor oil, or shea butter on my eyebrows and my eyelashes. If I want to, I can put a little bit of eyeliner, mascara, and go like this, a little dab of lip gloss or lipstick, and put the same thing here, and I'm done. That is such freedom. I can appreciate the pixie cuts. I can appreciate all the creativity. I can appreciate the makeup tutorials, yet me feeling good from the inside, not feeling dejected. Like after I take these things off, is super important to me because then I'm still left with me. So, have you ever gone broke with fashion? I still enjoy fashion, though I've learned so many uh, tips, tricks, principles of fashion and finding things that I enjoy, that I like, that complement my body type, my style, that allow me to be creative without breaking the bank. And that has been a constant evolution over the years. So sometimes I really have to laugh at myself, um, or just giggle to myself about how much I can enjoy really beautiful quality clothes without spending like a fraction of what I used to. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with nice things and with enjoying wealth. I enjoy that. Though having a mindset of prioritizing my future, right? Thinking into the future, whatever economy, whatever's going on in the world, safety, security, the things I need to pay for on a regular basis, um, my own coaching, my martial arts, self defense, different types of experiences, and visiting different types of plant centers and spice farms and things. Those are really, really important to me. They're much more important, and just as important, if not more, I would say more important than clothes, right? Plus, I figured out how to really enjoy and curate a wardrobe that I enjoy, that again doesn't cost a truckload of money. I can enjoy my own hair and skin, and I am intentional about doing that at every age and stage of the game until my hair is white. That gives me much more relaxation and mental freedom than the memories of racing to the beauty supply store to catch it before it closed to buy more hair baubles, more things, more just stuff, right? I was looking at some hair tutorials, and I was watching them use all this hairspray to make the hair hold, and I was just thinking, I'm not buying any aerosol cans, right? I've mentioned before in my videos, I threw my shower caddy out years ago, and I have zero intention on bringing it back, right? People can be quote unquote minimalist in different ways. Now, I don't know if I'll call myself a minimalist, though I like to pay attention to my internal dialogue and how I'm feeling, because I understand that that will often drive a lot of autopilot behaviors, how I'm feeling about myself, right? So I remember distinctly products. It made me feel overwhelmed. I felt like a prisoner of products as I'm fighting against my hair to make my hair do something that it can't do. It's even as a natural, right? Just having to do so many things, or going to the pool and you got black styling gel when I want to take swim lessons and that stuff starts going into the water. It's like, why can't I just be free? Well, we can. Though for me, that journey has been choosing to conscientiously go down the rabbit hole to see how my features, how they behave, what they can do, right? I used to get my eyebrows back in the day, sometimes tweezed, and then I discovered threading, which I really like. The silhouette feels more natural with the threading. But then if you can't find your threader, you can't find your hairstyles, again, you're like a slave. That does not resonate with me. The travel time to and from, and it's just not about being cheap. It's about really prioritizing your time and what's most important. Health and a certain degree of fitness and performance is a priority, will trump clothes and will trump makeup on any day of the week, right? That gives me a tremendous amount of tangible confidence in terms of what I can do with my body, psychologically knowing I am in integrity. I'm doing the best I can with my body. I'm also pushing myself so that I can perform when I need to. And I also can see that's allowed me to have a lot of experiences. I'm like, ooh, if I didn't have a certain degree of fitness, wow, there will be so many things I would be left out of. Like really, like waterfalls, canoe riding, keeping up with my son or different people that come to visit me. There's no way I'd be able to trek up to different types of Mayan ruins if I didn't have a certain degree of fitness. So it's those investments, really quality investments that give me back so much more for the money I've spent and the time I've spent with coaches and for information. It gives me rich experiences that are sustainable, right? Have you gone broke or even broken yourself from the inside for beauty, so-called beauty, to look a certain way or to fit in? Have you altered yourself and then found like, wow, still desperately seeking external validation? And again, not to make that bad or wrong, because that is part of our wiring as a species. But when it comes to putting ourselves, our body parts, and our psyche and our mental, emotional stability in harm's way, it takes a lot, I think, of in our personal times, right? Because we're on the internet, but in our quiet self reflection, uh, it takes a lot of courage to be honest with ourselves if whether or not, we'll ever be satisfied when we're turning ourselves inside out or dramatically altering ourselves to get a job or for likes on Instagram or for quick money in our quiet moments. And I don't think that many people are honest, right? Because this is an age where you can say anything and we do groupthink. We're emotional. A lot of our fears are triggered and we follow whoever serenades us with the sound or the lyrics or the words or the prose or the poetic lingo or the familiar language that we want to hear, right? And we have a tendency to champion behind these people that we don't know, if they're celebrities or online personalities that we don't know. We can't see how they live. I don't think we even pause enough to, when people say my Facebook or my YouTube family, that's very easy to say because you don't have to interact with these people and see what happens when you say no, or when there's a shortage of resources, or you don't really have to interact with these people. So I think there's a term for it, there's some kind of term of for social something parasocial relationships. There's a term for it, right? But there's a tendency for us to, and it's men and women, to identify with these personalities that are perhaps speaking to a struggle that you have. But I can tell you so many details are left out, and young folks, younger generations, and some older, looking for guidance or looking for solutions, and wanting to put the responsibility, I would dare say, on a religious figure or a political person. It may seem easier, like they're smarter, right? And they can come up with solutions that you can't come up with. I feel like it is costing us a lot. Again, it's like that little band-aid solution that causes 10 more problems. And if we were honest, we could see, right, putting our lives in and decision making process in the hands of the unvetted, it has catastrophic repercussions. But it seems like we are so triggered, and it's understandable, and so fearful. Most of us probably never admit it online because we're the intelligent species. We have degrees, we have money, we have clothes, we have all these accoutrements. Yet, if we look at the behavior, most of it is fear based, right? And I've mentioned on this channel before the 6 basic human fears that level the playing field for all human beings. The 6 basic human fears: loss of love and never finding love, poverty, illness, death, old age, and criticism. They're primal fears. And a lot of the entertainment is actually triggering a lot of these fears. And it really drives subconsciously a lot of our autopilot behaviors that is nonsensical, but we're not logical creatures, right? As much as we like to think we are, we have that capacity, but quite often the fear and the triggers will override all sense. So, how is it that we have the tendency to put ourselves in harm's way financially? our sacred body parts. This is men and women, right? We're really putting ourselves literally in harm's way. It's like, what is the disconnect? What is the disconnect with feeding ourselves things that we know are toxic, that we are very clear? It says it on the package. We don't even need the package. So it doesn't appear that we're really dialing into our common sense, that we're trusting our common sense. So the trust is broken with our onboard divine innate intelligence. And so everyone is smarter than us. And our ego, which has a function, right, to protect us, but it's often not logical. The ego is usually running a lot of our autopilot behavior, right? For example, we're looking for beauty. Will this person, man or woman, will they choose me? And then choose us for what? We're leaving out so many details, and we get ourselves quite often in hot water and make decisions that dramatically alter our lives, right? So one of the areas this comes up a lot for us is in the beauty game, the beauty industry. Not necessarily the health industry, right? We're spending so much money on products, hundreds of dollars on whole lines of products, that we turn right around and eat things that totally dry the body, tax the body, the alcohol, the cigarettes, the narcotics, like literally poisoning the body, the never ending amounts of chemicals. And it seems like we're blinded almost. So when we sit back in our quiet moments, if we ever get quiet these days, can we reflect that perhaps we're breaking ourselves, right? The parts of ourselves that you can't see, right? How we feel about ourselves, right? Because it's like, it's almost a insatiable. It's never enough when it comes to fixing something, right? Fixing my hair, right? But it occurred to me, there's nothing to fix. This is the hair. This is how it behaves. This is the shape of the nose. These are the eyes that I have. They work. I want to appreciate them. I want to keep this body temple tumor free, cancer free. Yet a lot of the stress and the cortisol and the insulin, all of this is tied into a lot of our mindless behavior. So, can you think of purchases that you have made where you went into debt, or you had to go back, you didn't have enough to pay, and you had to pay a lot of interest on these things for beauty? Are things that we're squishing our organs to death, and we're extremely making ourselves uncomfortable. I can remember shoes that felt like I had pit bulls on my toes, right? These patent leather, I remember when patent leather was in style, and mermaid skirts, right? Back in the days, I had to have these a yellow leather skirt, long mermaid skirt, and matching patent leather shoes, mustard yellow. Oh my gosh, those shoes hurt my feet so bad. I remember taking my shoes off in the street and walking several blocks home because my feet hurt so bad. And I was like, a couple of more years I did that, right? I spent a lot of money. I remember spending over $100, if not almost $200 on these shoes because I wanted to style so bad, but they hurt. And I had to either give them away or something. So, in our quiet moments of reflect, have we gone broke for beauty? I have. I acquired some major debt. What is that? Where is that coming from? Why do we not question it? Why are we following these celebrities and pastors and so-called icons so blindly? It's a phenomenon. Uh, do you notice the internal dialogue that's going on with your own self quietly, right? When you take off a lot of what you take off, right? Can you notice like there's again, not to make it bad or wrong, but there is such a degree of contouring on an everyday basis, right? That it's not a surgery, but we're trying to make our noses look thinner. And I come from a family of, we had Patti LaBelle noses, like wide across the face. And these are just the noses that we had that we have been divinely assigned, right? I think of Barbara Streisand, right? Who has more of a bit of the bone is pronounced in her nose. And once, someone shared with me, she thought of getting a nose job, but if she got the nose job, it would have altered her singing voice. She would have lost the gift of her voice had she altered her nose. So perhaps, we're thinking our hair is so insignificant or our features are insignificant, right? It's easy for doctors to tell you, you don't need these pieces of your body, just cut them off. right? They have no, you know, forget, how they affect the whole, right? Could it be possible that the things, and some people would choose to do other things. Again, maybe somebody's having a whole nother experience. I can only speak from my personal experience. But from where I sit, I know that feeling good about accepting what I have and knowing that it's what I have, celebrating and being creative with it so that I have a spontaneous smile on my face when I go past the mirror, that's really significant. It's really important, and I'm very protective of it. I know that it has fiat value. Me not feeling good about myself is going to make somebody else very, very profitable. At some point in life, hopefully, we can become at ease in our own hair and skin and stop fighting. And I've said before, if my hair, because I didn't want to get locks, right? My hair locked on its own. And I just decided to go with it because I've done everything else natural. But I know if my hairline is ever pushing back here, I'm going to cut it off, right? I've shaved my head bald before, and I was shocked that I felt attractive to myself. And actually, that might seem extreme, but it was an experiment I did many years ago to just take for myself. It was just very intuitive to take certain things off the table to see what would happen, to really address the fears of what are my brothers going to say? What are my family? What are people going to say? What do I have to say? Because when I looked in the mirror, I was like, okay, here's my head. I get to see the shape of my head. Many people say, oh, I couldn't wear this, or I couldn't wear this. And when I look at how much we're struggling and slapping on the cream and the styling gels, again, not wrong, but the anxiety, I think that's perhaps the biggest distinction, the feeling of desperation and anxiety that somebody is going to choose me if I have this hairstyle. But what about you choosing you, right? And I can think of some people close to me. I was like, over there, I don't like that hairstyle. I'm gonna think like, but I like it. I like it, right? And I like me. I like the person I am. I'm by no means perfect, but I really like me. I like my style, and I'm intentional about liking me as my body temple becomes gets wear and tear from age, and I'm intentional about enjoying myself. That is the priority over going broke over clothes and products. And I think perhaps retraining our eyes, we can have so much more mental space for ease, for relaxation. And also, once we take certain things off the table, there's more mental space open to having new experiences, right? And that's a big part of what life is. Having rich experiences that you'd be surprised would not cost as much as we think that they do. But we're so fearful, our vision becomes very, very narrow, and we stop seeing possibilities for ourselves. So I'm curious to know, have you ever gone broke for beauty? Or do you feel like you've ever broken yourself for beauty? And maybe at some point it's like, you know what? I'm over it. I'm not, I know I haven't dyed my hair. I was just reflecting as I was moisturizing my hair today. I have hair and a body that does not like a bunch of chemicals. My body does not like fake food. My body loves real food. My body loves to sweat. My body loves stretching. My body loves sleep. My body loves sunshine. It gives me direct communications and feedback. Loves it. Loves it. My hair loves to be left alone. I hear protective styling. This is beyond protective styling. My hair is so delicate, it just wants to be left alone. And so, I think it's amazing to me now when I think about it, like I kind of forgot about my hair or the length of it. And that's a really, really good feeling. So feel free to share down in the comments. I'm curious to know, have you gone broke for beauty? Do you feel like you've ever broken yourself? Or do you feel like we're breaking ourselves from the inside and the outside? Do you feel like we're breaking ourselves in pursuit of the ever-moving goalposts of beauty? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Hopefully get some good rest. Looking forward to see you all in the 5 a.m. workout. That's Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in LA, if you're in Belize or Barbados, or wherever you are, I usually set it for Eastern Standard Time. So set your clocks. I share the warm-up portion here on the YouTube channel if you want to train with me for the full workout, which is cardio, flexibility, and dynamic strength, right from your house, right? So you get rid of the excuse of having to travel to and from the gym. Yeah, and you freed up more time to make beautiful, healthy food for yourself. So I'm off to the market today. Someone's asked me for tutorials. I'm not a big tutorial kind of person because a lot of times I'm just moving on a vibe and things just come out as I'm playing with what my hair can do. Right, our hair is very sculptable, so this is what I was playing with today. So I made the attempt to do tutorial, though the editing and all that stuff takes a lot of time. And I have the garden, I have bunnies, I have so many tasks. I have so much content backed up, but I only have so much time in the day. So feel free to support the channel and reciprocate where you find value. Subscribe. Feel free to come along with me on this journey of radical self-acceptance and creativity and play. You can find Body Culinary on YouTube. Here, subscribe and share on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Facebook. Set your notifications because from time to time I will circulate the warm-up portion, which is a workout in and of itself, on the different social media. Though YouTube is my main hub. And just be mindful not to be demanding. I know that is the standard on YouTube, but I do this because it's something I enjoy doing. So yeah, I like to keep it on that vibe and respectful boundaries. What I enjoy and require. Create a great day on purpose just because you said so, and I will see you soon.